the science of the soul, and what ancient civilizations knew about human energy. In the worldview of the ancients, there was no chasm between the empirical and the ethereal, no separation of the soul from science. The study of the cosmos was inseparable from the study of the self, for they understood that the same fundamental laws governed both the stars in the heavens and the spirit within the human heart. Their science was a holistic discipline, a knowing that sought to understand the universe as a single, interconnected, and living entity. To them, dissecting the world into purely material components without acknowledging its animating spirit was like studying the mechanics of a flute without ever hearing its music. To these cultures, the fundamental force we now abstractly label energy was not a mystical or theoretical concept. It was the very essence of existence, as tangible and real as the air they breathed and the blood that coursed through their veins. It was life itself. This vital force was the invisible architect of the visible world, the difference between a living body and a corpse, between a thriving plant and a barren stone. It was the warmth in a sunbeam, the charge in a lightning strike, and the subtle spark of awareness beyond a pair of eyes. This profound understanding was a universal truth, expressed through the unique linguistic and cultural lenses of civilizations across the globe. Today, our modern language attempts to grasp the same ancient truth through new vocabularies. We speak of frequency and vibration, acknowledging the quantum reality that all matter is ultimately energy in a state of constant motion. We explore emotion, recognizing it is not just a psychological state, but as emotion, energy in motion, a palpable force that creates physiological changes and broadcasts a signal to the world around us. And we ponder the ultimate mystery of consciousness, the formless, pervasive awareness that animates our being and in which all of reality unfolds. But whether we call it May, Ka, Ki, Prana, or consciousness, all of these words, ancient and modern, point towards a single unifying reality, the invisible current that moves through every living being. It is the silent river that connects the roots of a tree to its highest leaves, the intricate web that binds a colony of ants, and the luminous field that animates your own thoughts, hopes, and dreams. It is the fundamental medium of existence. To understand this is to hold the key to a profound truth. Reality is not something that merely happens to you. It is a creative process you're actively participating in. If you can learn to perceive and work with this internal current, you can begin to shape your reality from the inside out. This is not magic. It is a natural law of creation. By cultivating your inner state through disciplined focus, intentional thought, and emotional coherence, you are tuning the frequency of your own being. You are no longer a passive vessel being tossed by the waves of circumstance, but the conscious director of your own energy. And by changing your energy, you change how the world responds to you, beginning the sacred work of transforming your inner landscape into your outer reality. The ancient understanding of energy, long before the discovery of electricity or the advances of modern science, ancient civilizations possessed a deep, intuitive understanding of energy, not as a measurable current, but as an animating life force, often described as breath. This invisible yet vital essence permeated their cosmologies, mythologies, and spiritual practices, forming a bridge between the seen and unseen worlds. For the Sumerians, one of the earliest known civilizations, energy was a divine current, me, pronounced may, flowing through the body like sacred resonance. They believed this force was the same vibration that the gods used to speak creation into existence, weaving order from chaos. To them, human beings were conduits of this primordial energy, each breath a microcosm of cosmic utterance. The Egyptians understood this life force as Ka, a luminous spiritual twin that accompanied every person from birth to the afterlife. The Ka was not just energy, but an essential aspect of the soul, requiring sustenance through alignment, ritual offerings, and ethical living. Without this nourishment, they believed the Ka would wither, just as a body without breath. Across the mountains in ancient China, this concept flourished as Qi. For Taoist sages and traditional healers, Qi was the dynamic, flowing energy that constitutes the entire universe. It is the breath of the cosmos, moving through the landscape in the practice of feng shui, and through the human body along pathways called meridians. Health was a state of balanced and freely flowing Qi, while illness was a sign of its stagnation of blockage. Practices like acupuncture and qigong are not mere folk remedies. They are sophisticated technologies for manipulating and cultivating this fundamental life energy. In the Vedic traditions of ancient India, the concept was known as prana, the universal breath that animates all living things. Detailed in texts, prana was the vital current connecting mind, body, and cosmos, channeled through practices like yoga and meditation to achieve harmony and enlightenment. To master prana was to master life itself. Across cultures and continents, whether called ki in Chinese philosophy, rosh in Hebrew mysticism, or mana in Polynesian belief, the message remained eerily consistent. You are not merely solid matter, you are vibration. Your thoughts, emotions, and spoken words are not passive. They are frequencies, rippling through your energetic field, shaping reality like a tuning fork resonating through space. Every shift in your inner state, a surge of joy, a spiral of fear, alters the signal you emit. And just as a magnet attracts its likeness, the world reflects back to you the energy you broadcast. This ancient wisdom, now echoed by quantum physics and vibrational science, suggests a profound truth. To change your life, you must first change your energy. Align your frequency with what you seek, and the universe has no choice but to mirror it back. The question isn't whether this force exists, but whether you'll consciously wield it. The science behind the soul. For millennia, ancient traditions and spiritual philosophies have spoken of a vital life force, an invisible energy that animates all living things. This was an intuitive understanding, born from deep introspection and observation, that our physical bodies are merely the most dense expression of a far more subtle and energetic reality. Today, in a fascinating convergence of thought, modern science is beginning to provide the language and measurements to validate what these ancients knew through feeling and faith. Biophysics, quantum biology, and neuroscience are revealing that we are not just chemical and mechanical beings, but fundamentally electromagnetic systems. Your body is a living, humming symphony of electrical signals. Every single biological process, from the most complex to the most mundane, is governed by electrical charge. Think of the trillions of cells that form your being. Each one maintains an electrical potential across its membrane, like a microscopic battery. Every time you think a thought, a cascade of electrical impulses or neurons fires across the intricate network of your brain. Every time your heart beats, it's not just a mechanical pump. It is a powerful electrical contraction that generates the single most significant electromagnetic field in your body. Every muscular twitch, every sensation of touch, every signal from your gut to your brain is a conversation written in the language of electricity. Together, these countless micro-events coalesce into a single, dynamic, and measurable field of energy that surrounds you, your personal biofield. This is where the findings of pioneering research institutions like the HeartMath Institute become so profound. Through sensitive instruments called magnetometers, they have made a stunning discovery. The electromagnetic field produced by the heart is electrically up to 60 times stronger and magnetically up to 5,000 times stronger than the field generated by the brain. This field isn't confined to your chest. It radiates outward in all directions for several feet, enveloping you in a torus-shaped bubble of energy. Crucially, HeartMath discovered that the quality of this field is not static. It changes in direct response to your emotional state. When you experience feelings of gratitude, genuine compassion, love, or joy, the rhythms of your heart become smooth and orderly. This creates what scientists call a coherent field. Imagine a smooth, harmonious, sine wave-like pattern, a signal that is powerful, stable, and organized. This coherent field is radiant and magnetic, promoting a state of psychophysiological coherence, where your heart, brain, and nervous system synchronize, leading to enhanced mental clarity, emotional stability, and physical resilience. Conversely, when you experience stress, anxiety, fear, anger, or shame, your heart rhythms become erratic and disordered. This creates an incoherent or chaotic field. Picture a jagged, irregular, and discordant waveform, a signal that is noisy, weak, and inefficient. This state of chaos puts a strain on your entire system, clouding judgment, draining your energy, and locking you into a physiological stress response. The implications of this are staggering. It means your energy, your emotional state made manifest, is literally communicating with the world around you. You are a broadcasting tower, and your emotions determine the frequency you transmit. This field interacts with the electromagnetic fields of other people, the earth, and even animals. It is a scientific basis for what we intuitively call vibes, or chemistry between people. It's why you can walk into a room and instantly sense tension without a word being spoken, or feel uplifted by the mere presence of a joyful person. This understanding shifts our entire perspective on life. You are not a passive observer simply reacting to external events. You are an active participant, constantly broadcasting a signal that shapes your reality, influences those around you, and informs the feedback you receive from the world. Every moment you have a choice. By consciously cultivating emotions like gratitude and compassion, you are not just changing how you feel inside, you are fundamentally altering the energetic signal you send out to the universe, transforming yourself from a reactor into a conscious creator of your life's experience. Myth as energy map. Ancient myths were not merely fanciful tales spun to entertain or explain the inexplicable. Instead, they served as profound energy maps, intricate blueprints guiding initiates and seekers through the complex landscapes of consciousness and the subtle realms. Take, for instance, the descent of the Sumerian goddess Inanna. When she descended through the seven gates, she wasn't just metaphorically surrendering her divine regalia and earthly titles. Each gate represented a progressive lowering of her energetic frequency. With each layer shed, Inanna was actively disengaging from the dense, often calcified energetic imprints of her ego, her established identity, and the worldly power she embodied. This was a deliberate process of purification, a shedding of the heavy, limiting energetic skins that bound her to a specific state of being, until she was ultimately able to return to her original, unadulterated vibration, a state of pure, radiant energy, light, and potential. Similarly, the Egyptian myth of Isis reassembling Osiris is not a simplistic account of physical resuscitation. Isis, the powerful sorceress and magician, was not resurrecting flesh in the literal sense. Rather, she was restoring and harmonizing fragmented energies through the potent application of focused intention, the vibrational power of sound, and the profound unifying force of love. Her actions were a demonstration of how consciousness, directed with unwavering will and fueled by compassion, could reweave the very fabric of existence, reuniting scattered energetic components into a cohesive whole. Therefore, these ancient narratives were far more than stories. They were sophisticated technologies of consciousness. They encoded deep wisdom about the nature of reality and the human experience, teaching that genuine transformation is not achieved through a futile struggle against perceived darkness or negativity. Instead, true metamorphosis arises from the profound act of remembering and reconnecting with your original inherent vibration, that pure, unconditioned frequency that exists, unblemished, beneath all the layers of experience, conditioning, and perceived limitations. The myths offered a roadmap to access this inner light, to reclaim one's essential energetic signature, and thereby achieve a state of empowered being. How to reconnect with your energy. So, how do you truly apply this ancient science, this profound understanding of energy, intention, and consciousness to the demanding pace of your modern life? The bridge between timeless wisdom and your daily reality is not built through grand, elaborate rituals, but through small, consistent shifts in your awareness and action. It begins not outside of you, but within. First, you must cultivate awareness. This is the foundational act of turning your attention inward. Start by simply noticing how your thoughts feel in your body. Don't just listen to the words in your head. Become a sensory detective of your own inner landscape. A thought of anxiety isn't just a mental sentence. It might feel like a tightening in your chest, a cold knot in your stomach, or a buzzing tension in your shoulders. A joyful thought might feel like warmth spreading from your heart, a lightness in your limbs, or an uncontrollable urge to smile. This practice teaches you that thoughts are not just abstract concepts. They are vibrational events that have a direct physical impact. Remember that every emotion is simply energy in motion. These feelings are not your enemies. They are messengers. Anger might be a message that a boundary has been crossed. Sadness could be a message asking for release and healing. Fear might be a signal to pay closer attention. When you fight these feelings by suppressing, ignoring, or judging them, you are essentially damming a river. The energy becomes stagnant, trapped within you, often leading to stress and suffering. The true path is to allow the energy to be felt, to sit with it, acknowledge its message without being consumed by its story, and let it flow through you. In this acceptance, you reclaim your power. Then you must practice stillness. This is a sacred space where you recalibrate your being. In a world that relentlessly screams for your attention, choosing stillness is a radical act of self-preservation. You don't need an hour in a remote monastery. Just 5 minutes of quiet, intentional breathing can profoundly realign your personal energy. As you sit and focus on the simple rhythm of your inhale and exhale, your frantic mind begins to settle. Your nervous system shifts from a state of high alert, fight or flight, to one of rest and repair. This is what it means to realign your electromagnetic field. You are consciously calming the chaotic static of stress and tuning your body back to its natural coherent frequency. To amplify this, you can engage your most powerful creative tool, your imagination. While you breathe, visualize a warm, golden light pouring down from above, entering the crown of your head and cascading through your entire body. See it filling every cell, every organ, every space between, dissolving tension and healing discord. Imagine this light expanding beyond your skin to form a radiant, protective sphere around you. This is not mere fantasy, because what you vividly imagine your brain begins to believe. Your brain doesn't always distinguish between a real-world experience and a deeply felt, imagined one. By visualizing this healing light, you are sending powerful signals to your nervous system to relax, to your cells to regenerate, and to your entire being to resonate with a higher, more harmonious state. And finally, you must write. This is the alchemy of turning the invisible into the visible. A thought is fleeting, ethereal energy. An intention is a silent whisper in the vastness of consciousness. But the act of writing transcribes this energy into the physical world. It takes the nebulous cloud of a thought and gives it shape, structure, and a form on the page. It's how you take the infinite potential of your mind and anchor it into the density of matter. This is the practical magic of creation. When you write down your goals, your dreams, or your desires with focused intention, you're performing a sacred act. You're declaring to yourself and to the universe what you choose to create. The pen becomes a wand, the page a sacred tablet. The process of searching for the right words clarifies your intention, and the physical act of writing it down makes it real, tangible, and accountable. This is the alchemy of creation through word and intention, transforming the base metal of a passing thought into the gold of manifested reality. In ancient times, civilizations built magnificent temples, structures of stone and gold, oriented to the stars, designed to focus human intention and connect with the divine. They were physical anchors for spiritual practice. Today, your life is your temple, and your tools are far simpler, yet no less potent. You have a pen, you have a journal, a keyboard, a blank document. The scale has changed, but the fundamental principle has not. The deliberate act of focusing your awareness, creating a still space, and anchoring your intention into physical form is the timeless engine of creation. The process is the same. The pursuit of understanding the inner self, the very essence of our being, is often framed as a modern quest. We speak of consciousness studies, quantum metaphysics, and the neuroscience of mindfulness as if we are the first generation to peer into the abyss of our own souls. But the science of the soul isn't new. It is not a discipline born of microscopes and equations, but a timeless wisdom that predates written language itself. This science is ancient. Its truths are not confined to academic journals, but are woven into the very fabric of human history. They are written in the grand tapestries of our myths, where the hero's journey is not just a story, but a detailed map of psychological and spiritual transformation, outlining the stages of ego death and rebirth. They are spoken in the sacred vibrations of our rituals, from the rhythmic chants that alter brainwave states to the ceremonial fires that have always symbolized purification and the transmutation of energy. These weren't empty superstitions. They were sophisticated, repeatable experiments in consciousness, designed to align the human microcosm with the cosmic macrocosm. And most intimately, this science is felt in the quiet space between your heartbeats. In that sacred pause, beneath the noise of the thinking mind, lies a field of pure awareness. It is a laboratory of the self, where direct, experiential knowledge is born, the kind that cannot be taught, but must be realized. This is where you feel the subtle hum of the universe, the silent knowing that connects you to all things. This is why, on your journey, you must understand a fundamental truth. You are not searching for energy. The very act of searching implies lack, a belief that you are separate from what you seek, that peace, power, or purpose is something out there to be found, earned, or acquired. This is an illusion. You are remembering it. You are an act of recollection, of remembering the scattered pieces of your own divinity, the energy that forged stars, that blossoms in a flower, that pulls the tide. That same primordial force is your birthright and your essential nature. It is coiled within your DNA, waiting in the stillness of your breath and encoded in the longings of your heart. The path isn't one of acquisition, but of excavation. It's about gently clearing away the dust of conditioning, fear, and self-doubt to reveal the luminous core that has been there all along. And when you live from that truth, when you stop striving and start allowing, when you trust the wisdom in your bones more than chatter in your head, your entire existence begins to shift. The friction of resistance dissolves. Struggle gives way to flow. Life ceases to be a battle to be won and becomes a dance to be savored. You find that your desires, actions, and needs begin to align effortlessly with the world around you. Synchronicities become commonplace. Your life begins to move with the elegant, intelligent, and magnificent rhythm of creation itself. This isn't just a philosophy, it's a practice of remembering who you are. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a comment if you found this beneficial and subscribe to Write and Rise with Shay for more videos blending this ancient wisdom and the insights of modern science. To take the first step of your own journey of recollection, download your free workbook below and begin the sacred work of your own transformation. Till next week, bye.